Welcome back to the ADSA here in Ottawa. I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Ryan Ordway. He's the Director of Strategic Accounts for Balchem. We also have a guest here, Sergio Martinez Monteagudo from New Mexico State. Was that close enough?
Close enough.
All right, good, good. Sergio, you were an invited speaker here. Can you give us a little bit of background on yourself and then talk a little bit about the presentation that you gave?
Okay, well, I'm originally from Mexico. I born and grew up in north part of Mexico, just right at the border between Mexico and Texas.
Okay.
Then I did grad school in University of Alberta in Canada.
Okay.
And then I moved to Ohio State University.
So I also went to Ohio State University, graduated way before you did though.
Okay. So and then after that, I started my career as a faculty in South Dakota State University for 4 years in dairy manufacturing. And then I went to get a little bit closer to family. And then I saw the job description in New Mexico. And
excellent.
Since
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you.
I moved in the middle of the pandemic.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Well, tell us a little bit about, have you given the presentation yet?
Yes.
Yes, okay. What was that all about?
The presentation is, well, the name is Upcycling. And one way to look at it is upgrade and reuse, just not materials, but also services, with the idea with create a lot more sustainable industry.
Okay.
Now, the concept is not new. The concept has been for a while now. Where we play a lot in the literature is just coming with new terminologies, upcycling and valorization. But the concept is the same. It has been used in other fields as well. So how we can take something that is usually a waste, convert it into a valuable product. That's essentially the whole idea.
Okay.
And what I do for that is, what I focus on my research is, for instance, we take lactose, and nobody wants lactose anymore, and convert it into sweeteners.
Okay.
That you can use in beverage or other products. And they come entirely from lactose. That's one of the attractive parts of what I'm doing. And the whole principle is, the way I look at it is use chemical engineering principles to convert materials that will be a waste into upgrade and reuse.
Interesting. Yeah, so you mentioned lactose, just kind of off the subject, maybe it is on the subject since we are in a virtual pub, but they are turning lactose into alcohol in the form of vodka. There's a company here called Vodcow. And I also know that they put it into beers to kind of smooth it out and kind of create a different texture. So
Yeah, well, that product is pretty good.
that is pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. If we all want it to be lactose free,
Yeah.
and then we focus on protein, we focus on fat, and the lactose is just getting accumulated and accumulated and accumulated because it's not going anywhere.
Right.
And we as an engineer, also has a raw material. What is my raw material? Is milk. I cannot get milk without lactose coming out of the cow. So the moment we remove it with technology, is just surplus food.
Yeah.
And then we have to do something with that surplus. And in a similar way happened with the fat-free movement around in the 90s, that nobody wants fat, and then we have a lot of fat and we don't know what to do with that fat. It's similar in this sense with the lactose now. Maybe in the future we will have a surplus of protein. Who knows?
Yeah. Are there other byproducts other than lactose?
Yeah, I also focus on phospholipids
Okay.
and dairy phospholipids specifically, and the motivation behind that is the health benefits that are related with the consumption of phospholipids, specifically dairy phospholipids, because the distribution of those materials is different from the ones in plant. Now, the issue with the dairy industry, concentration is very small, and there's diluted streams. So usually it's a byproduct from buttermilk, from butter and similar products. So essentially it's a lot of water and a small amount of phospholipids. If you think about it, you have to remove all the water, you have to remove lactose, you have to remove several to get a small portion. So that is not really attractive in terms of large volumes. But part of the reason they're doing adaptive from material science is using different solvents that you can extract the phospholipids and also separate it. So you don't have to do multiple steps.
Interesting. Sorry, Ryan. I invited you here for a reason, so.
Well, no, I lead our sustainability program for our animal nutrition and health group, and I was at a pet sustainability conference a couple of weeks ago, and upcycling was the topic to discuss, because it's the same exact thing. You know, in the rendering industry, meat processing, they have all these trim meats and all these hides and things that have been traditionally getting thrown in landfills, and now they're looking for how can we change our processes. Really, as you said, it's really an engineering uh, thing to overcome, and as we can utilize more of those, less goes into, not only does less go into the landfill, which is a cost, right, to the producer of the processor, but it's actually getting value added to it and then being turned into companion animal treats and food and things like that. And I was thinking as you were talking that, you know, when I was a real dairy nutritionist before I, you know, retired from that to join Balchem, Scott, you're supposed to laugh at that comment, but you know, I was dealing with whey all the time, right? And it was something that was just getting thrown away, and it was a byproduct, it was a waste product, and that was probably the, you know, as I think back, that was probably one of the original upcycle products, and now, I mean, whey has more value for the most part than casein.
Or even cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
But at that time, we didn't know upcycling exists.
Right, exactly.
That's what I'm saying, it's an old concept.
Yeah.
But the other part, if you look at the literature, what is scientific literature in upcycling, other fields are more progressive for several reasons. I took a look at the upcycling in construction, and it's a lot more sense grabbing a design a plastic that can actually couple like a Lego pieces and then build some materials and small houses and things like that, or even clothing is a lot easier. But when it comes to food, how are you going to design a food to be reused? It's hard to do in that way. So if well, for instance, IKEA designed wooden stools that after some time you can turn into a bike. But those are designed with that purpose.
Yes.
Now with a food, how are you going to design this vodka cow to reuse somewhere else? It's hard to do in that way.
Yeah.
So in that sense, the idea in other fields that design for second use is not applicable at this moment in food products. Now you can take advantage of byproducts, waste, yes, and using technology, but the idea just simply designing to be reused, that's a big challenge.
Yeah, interesting.
And you've got the shelf life stability issue as well, where
Safety issues.
plastics, you don't have a problem, and it could be a regulatory challenge.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of other things that are coming into play with you know, dairy products and really across all the animal ag space, you know, byproducts that you're trying to upcycle.
And in general, any food material, even agricultural waste, it needs to be, if you're going to add it into food, you have to get rid of pathogens.
Yep. Right. Exactly.
Or even allergens.
Yep. So good question. Is turning waste oil from cooking, things like that, into biofuels, is that considered upcycling?
I would say yes.
Yeah, I would too.
Now, there are already some organizations that Upcycling Food Association, and they have their own manifesto. I'll say manifesto because it is written in a way like, yeah, this is what I wanted to do in my life. But the issue to me is, as long you are helping not going into directly to the landfill, that should be upcycling. Now the rules, those are just technicalities, that what flavor you like. But the moment you are extending the life of that product, that should be upcycled.
Yeah.
And that is directly related to sustainability. And that's another issue that we don't have. What is the right metric to see are we upcycling enough? Do we have enough metrics? Because normally when sustainability we come with carbon footprint, water footprint, energy use, so on, so on. So what about in this topic? I don't think we have metrics.
Yeah, I think the sky's the limit at this point. I agree. I don't think there are any metrics.
So we can create our own metrics of cycling.
Yep. And I mean, you know, Scott leads our marketing. It really is marketing. I mean, it's a great story coming out of the dairy industry. You know, that's continually seems to be under fire for
whatever reason.
For whatever reason, right? Methane, carbon emissions, you name it. And you know, this is a really good story because in the past, I mean, we talk about we use citrus waste and things like that, but there's not you know, that's done behind the scenes, right? We're feeding a cow or we're feeding a pig or something, the citrus, you know, rinds, but it doesn't really get into the public. Where something like this, something like the, you know, cow vodka, um, it there's something you can get in front of the consumer, and it's a really great opportunity for us as an industry to sort of raise that awareness that, hey, we are doing our part. You know, there's we have a long ways to go, but it's a great thing that we're trying to do for the, you know, the world.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing, for instance, is if you think about their industries under fire and all that, what would be this country without the dairy industry?
Right. I wouldn't have my belt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have my shoes.
Yes. Jobs.
Jobs.
Taxes.
Exactly.
What is wrong in creating jobs and paying taxes?
Yeah.
Since when that was bad?
Yeah.
That sounds like a great place to stop, man. We need the dairy industry.
Yeah, we need it.
Yep. Sergio, this has been a fascinating topic, one that I think we could talk on for hours, especially with Ryan here. He's passionate about sustainability, upcycling, all of that. This has been a very interesting. Looking forward to your talk tomorrow. I'm going to attend, so thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. My
Very
pleasure.
welcome.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.